You are watching Mental Health Mondays, brought to you by Connected, a mental health initiative. And I'm with my great partner, Chuck Bastie, the host of the show tonight. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. It's been a couple of weeks since we've been on the air with the holiday last week, so it feels like forever since we've done the show.
Hey, listen, I just got a haircut. I just got off the scissors. She comes to our house. Man, you got wild-looking hair today. I love it.
Like that? It's like I just set my curlers in last night, and I woke up this morning, and this is what happened.
I wish I could curl this mess. You know, I used to have a mullet, right? I look like, you remember Braveheart? You know that guy?
Of course.
When I was much younger and fit and not fat, I had a big mullet, and I was walking through the airport once, and there was a little bit of similarities. And somebody actually tapped me on the shoulder and said, and in German, because, you know, they don't really know, my wife's a big fan of yours. Can I have an autograph? So little did I signed my name, Kerry Goulet, because I played in the city just next door. So I thought, you're not that actor? Oh, I'm an actor, all right.
Yeah, just that kind of actor.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I know you're gonna have a fantastic show, but before we get started, I do want to say tomorrow night, we're starting a new program. Our Mental Health Mondays is going to also come on this program called Fired Up Network. There's a lot of great things going on. We will be talking with them next week, Chuck, you and I, for Mental Health Mondays. A lot of great stuff coming from them. But tomorrow, they've been after me for a year to do a concussion show. And, you know, I wrote the book Concussed and all that, and you've been a big part of it. You will be on the show, of course, featuring all your issues that you've suffered through and all your friends and that. So tomorrow, Terry Rivard has got us on Fired Up Network. It's called Concussed, Understanding the Invisible Injury. And Scott Haller starts it off with me tomorrow night for 45 minutes, just talking everything concussion related. And I can't wait to have you on the show, bud.
Yeah, you know, that's really great that you're doing that, Gooch, because honestly, like the concussion, like you said, it is the silent enemy out there amongst brain injuries as well. And like what you can't see, you can't understand. So it's about creating awareness for that. It's about giving options to people. Like certainly when I met you 10 years ago, I didn't know how to deal with my concussion issues. And, you know, as they were adding up and I was getting older, you know, that had a dramatic effect on my social life and my personality and my, you know, my mood swings and everything like that too. So I'm so glad you're going to get that message out to people. Scott Haller is amazing. He's going to do great in the show. Yep.
Hey, listen, Barry Shelley's joined us, of course. There he is, Mr. Clean. I wonder if he's talking about me or you. I'm not sure, but I'll go with you. And people are fired up. They are fired up for you guys. I love it. And then, of course, one of our greatest, Robert Wine, has joined us. Oh, nuts. I'm late, but I'm here. He's the only guy that apologizes that he misses a show.
I know. Like, it's just like that's our super fan.
You know, I mean, like, crazier? He's the guy. I love him dearly. He'll actually email me and warn me that he's not going to be on the show and apologize before the show has even happened. We love you, Robert Wine.
Yeah. And Robert, thanks a lot so much for your messages this week as well. I got your private messages as well. And, you know, like, I mean, every time I read his messages, he just brings goosebumps to my arms because he just has the kindest things to say. And I really appreciate your support, Robert.
Well, I called him awesome one time as his young girlfriend, his daughter. I know a young girl, 5 years old, called him awesome one time. And, you know, obviously we know the story. I know that Laurie's in the green room, but she hasn't heard this story. You know, his accident was just devastating and he's got the invisible injury when it comes to his brain, but physically you can see it. And this young girl said, "Oh, Robert, you're awesome." And then when I met him, I said, you know, because if you've seen him, the way he operates, I just said, "Robert, you are awesome." And then all of a sudden I'm awesomer. And now he's awesomest and he's awesomer, awesomest. Like he writes this every morning to me when he's going with his scooter through the drive-through at Tim Hortons when they say, "Mr. Wine, your double, please." Yes. Yeah. And then he'll write me right away and say, "Gooch, you're the awesomest." It's just amazing. I love the guy and I really say, all right, listen. Enough about me. What about you? Let's talk about this incredible guest you've got. And it's appropriate that it should be Mrs. Clean, not Mr. Clean. Yeah. She's amazing at what she does. Talk to us before Laurie gets up here. Tell us a little bit about how she's here tonight.
So our guest is Laurie Convay tonight. And part of the reason why we had Laurie on the show is it's vacation time. And we had a big talk, my girlfriend and I had to talk about when you come home, do you want to come home to a clean house? And when it comes down to it, I don't care. So I'm not a visual person at all. But then I started taking polls of people like, hey, listen, do you want to come home to a clean house, or are you okay with coming home to like a somewhat messy house? And everybody pretty much came back and said, no, you got to clean before you go. And I was just like, wow, I got to be the last person to know about this. But what I did find out is that there's a mental health aspect to cleanliness.
Oh no.
And whether it be, you know, your space, clutter, your peace of mind, devoid of toxins, all of these things. And Laurie's a mastermind. She's from ENJO Canada, and she's going to share with us her story about why cleanliness is good for your peace of mind and what the deliverables are on the show. There you go, the ENJO label. But we're going to talk to Laurie about her story. I've never seen anybody who's more fascinating about and more as enthusiastic about cleaning as Laurie is. So I'm really looking forward to this show.
I hope my wife is not watching this, because I am not Mr. Clean. And I'm really looking forward to listening to Laurie. Give me a couple of tips how I can fake it. It's fake cleaning, because I'll tell you, before she comes up, let me ask her this question when she comes up. She doesn't know I'm going to ask it. My wife is constantly, put the toilet seat down. Gooch, pick up your socks. Gooch, put the dish, your plate's here. There's the dishwasher. Why don't you put it in the dishwasher?
Not hard.
And
yeah.
I'll do it later. Put the barbecue cover over top. Clean up. Like, it's just nonstop nag, nag, nag. But you know what? If I do it, I wouldn't hear any of that, but I still do it because I know how much she loves me. So I think there's a little bit of when you talk about mental health, I know how much it affects her. I should be more respectful to her feelings, because she's very clean. She likes things in order. And I'm like you, Chuck, just, oh, you're supposed to clean? Like, honestly, I clean when I shower, honestly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here she is, Mrs. Clean.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Laurie.
Hi, that's quite an intro. I can help you with some of those things.
Well, I'm going to listen.
How to work a dishwasher tutorial.
No, I know how to use it. I just pretend. One of the things I learned is, I'm an older gentleman, 62 years old. I learned very young that just fake that you don't know how to do anything. You don't have to do anything. You just keep saying, I know how to do it all. I know how to turn a dishwasher on, honestly. But you look absolutely incredible in your white shirt. And Mr. who wears a white shirt on that Javix bottle or whatever that is. Isn't it Mr. Clean?
Full of toxins, yeah.
I wouldn't even know anymore. I haven't picked up a bottle in 17 years. So.
He's the toxic male out there. In the,
That's right, exactly. So I'm going to let you two get in. And I know, Chuck, you told me how incredible this interview was going to be, because they said, clean the world. What? Hang on a sec here. Why? It's mental health. But I do understand. I honestly understand. So my question to you as I leave, I'm going to be producing the show tonight, Chuck. I'm really looking forward to listening to you, Laurie, talk about, cleaning the world. It's called, how do you say this word?
You actually say it ENJO. It's a combination of the owner's name. So Johannes and Engel. So it's ENJO.
Fantastic. So my question to you is it true, like what Chuck and I have you've heard us ramble a little bit about it, in a relationship? One is, I would call myself a very disorganized, organized human being. I love chaos. I don't know. I know, Chuck, you're kind of like me in a sense that I'm very spontaneous. I love that things are not exactly the way they should be. And my wife is the exact opposite. And somehow we found a way. But I'm really interested to understand how important is it to be on the same level when it comes to that? Is it not good for a mental health relationship to have a little bit of variance? Maybe not quite this much, but love to hear your answer.
Yeah, so that's actually a really funny question, because my husband could not care less about cleaning. He's a full-time worker. We run a full-time farm here with 300 acres and 100 head of cattle. So his domain is not the home. So when I went to see this, just talking about mental health, I was pretty much done with things. And Jamie said to me as I was leaving to go to this cleaning class, he said, "Where are you going?" And I said, "Oh, I'm going to my girlfriend's house. It's probably stupid and expensive and it's not going to work." And he said, "Well, what is it for?" And I said, "Well, it's cleaning products." And he said, well, you're the cleaning professional in the house. Go buy your tools. And that is probably one of the best things that he could have ever said to me. He said, I just spent $600 on a drill I'm going to use 3 times, but I need the drill in order to do my job. I could care less about the drill. I don't care about the drill. But as long as your partner recognizes who is doing the job in the home, whether it's inside, outside, in the car, driving, doesn't matter. But the support is there, even if it's just to say, you know what, it's okay. You need to go buy your tools and get something that's good because you're in this stuff all the time.
As I leave you, I just want to tell you that I did inventory over the pandemic. I'm sure I told you this, Chuck. If your husband needs a drill, for some reason, I've got 9 of them. So I will definitely send him one. I think I got 3 Black & Deckers, a couple of DeVaults and all that sort of stuff. And as I go, my good friend Sam Trapolino, not sure what this means, my wife Sharon gets a song from the marketing campaign stuck in her head, and it bugs her a bit. Enjo, 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 a cleaning we will go. And now that's coming from Adelaide, Australia.
Yes, so Enjo is very big in Australia, and I absolutely love that they picked up on that.
There you go.
That's
Chuck,
awesome.
Chuck, Laurie, you have a wonderful interview. I will be watching attentively. I've got a pen. I'll be taking notes.
See you on the backside, Gooch.
Bye, guys.
So, Laurie, thanks a lot for being on the show tonight. I watched your videos on Facebook for the last couple of years as well, and I just marvel at how happy you are at doing something that I cannot stand doing, which is cleaning. But before I get to the point of mental health, because obviously there is a mental health component to cleanliness and to having your little domain that you have as well, I thought we'd just take a couple of minutes just to kind of tell your story first and let you just kind of tell the viewers how you got here, what you do as well, and how you got there.
Yeah, so I live on the beautiful Lake Huron shoreline, and we live on a farm. So we've got our own septic system. And I used to use, like I said before, my job was cleaning our home. And I did it once a week. It took me almost an entire day to do it, to clean the farm. And I used to use a lot of products, a lot. I never read a label. I kind of winged it. It's kind of like, you know, you watch the commercial and then you just kind of spray and wipe and go. So I really wasn't using the products properly for the right surfaces. And then I thought, gosh, this stuff is really, really nasty for me. So I need to get down to something a little bit more natural. So baking soda vinegar, I use the eco products. At that point in time, President's Choice was actually coming out with all their eco brands. Tried that. It left nothing but residue in my home. So I went right back into chemicals because I want it clean. And I want my husband to know that I cleaned the house. So I had a big connection with smell. Clean was a smell for me and a see. So that's where I was when I went to see ENJO. Actually, you can only see it at a home demonstration, or if you Google or find somebody on Facebook that's teaching how to use it. And I was pretty skeptical, but I purchased because I thought it's got a 60-day money-back guarantee. I'm going to send it back home. And like I said, my husband said, just go buy your tools. You are the cleaning person in this house. Go get what you need. So I purchased them. I brought them back. Not only 17 years later am I still using ENJO in the home with just water. So this is an Austrian company, Austrian fibres and water to clean the entire farm. I'm talking machinery and barbecues and skin and kitchens and bathrooms and everything in between. So not only am I still using it, I actually did not send it back, obviously, but 7 years ago, my husband said, you need to start telling people what you're doing here, because this is crazy. How can you clean everything with water and an engineered fiber? So not only that, you know, everyone says, well, does it really work? And I said, well, if it didn't work, my house would stink to high heaven. But it doesn't. It's actually cleaner than it's ever been. It's fast, it's easy, and it saves a ton of time, a ton of money. And what we're talking about today, mental health. It's a big job sometimes to even wrap your head around trying to get things clean, let alone jumping in and doing it with the right product.
Yeah, and you mentioned the mental health proponent to this, but why is what ENJO's system does, why is it so important? Obviously, devoid of the toxins and just using water. And hang on, Laurie, it's so hot in here right now. I just gotta just my forehead here, but oh god, oh this, this is my ENJO fiber here. I almost took off my mascara there.
Chuck, I'm going to swap you out for the proper fiber, and we can talk about that in a little bit.
No, and I'm kidding aside, because just because this is Mental Health Monday doesn't mean we have to actually not keep it light like this. So this is your daughter, Olivia. So
yes,
tell us a little bit about what she's got into her. Well,
yeah, so Olivia's a graphic designer by trade, and she really loves to dabble in makeup. And 7 years ago, we actually learned about the ENJO skincare because I'd only been to one demonstration. I purchased what I needed. I never even knew that we had a skincare line. So we were cleaning skin with no body wash, no makeup remover, no toner, no cleanser, no nothing to purchase. So Olivia does some really great Halloween makeup for me every year. And then she takes her ENJO in water and just takes it off so that we can actually see the power of ENJO, yet the gentleness of ENJO as well.
So I know there's people going to be watching this going, saying, how does it work? So why don't you just kind of walk us through how the magic fibers work?
Right. So whenever I talk about how it works, I have to talk about what we're currently using. So what I used to use and what a lot of people currently use are a lot of products. So products can be anything from something toxic, any bleaches, they can be anything like your eco products, and you can get down to essential oils and even baking soda and vinegar and things like that. Those are all products. So 98% of the surfaces on your home have all these little micropores. This is super important because when you pick up a chemical and you read the label, which most people don't do, you've got to read through the whole thing. Within the first couple sentences, it will say for use on hard, non-porous surfaces. Well, 98% of the surfaces in your home are porous. So you pour the chemical on, you're not using it on the right surface. You've got to let it sit for approximately 4 to 10 minutes, depending on the formula. This is a chemical. And then you're supposed to wash it off. And what happens is we usually take a flat cloth and we go over the top of the surface. So what we're leaving down here is maybe dead bacteria if you left it long enough, but dirt, grime, grease, all that's stuck down there, and product residue. This is super important. So product residue is down there, which acts as food for new bacterial growth. And bacteria will eat anything. In the mouth, it repopulates. I'm a dental hygienist, so in the mouth, it repopulates itself every 24 hours approximately. Our mouth has got lots of food and it's moist. And on our surfaces, it'll find that product residue is food and it will repopulate itself. And I'm convinced that's why we're creating a lot of superbugs in the home. So ENJO, on the other hand, that's a chemical way of cleaning. ENJO is a mechanical way of cleaning. So as a dental hygienist, I don't kill any bacteria in anybody's mouth. I worked today. I came out of a scrub cap and full scrubs before I came on your show. I didn't take a green product or vinegar to kill any bacteria in people's mouths. I take very tiny engineered instruments. I go underneath the gum tissue very carefully to pull out what shouldn't be there. And ENJO works the same way. So I'm going to grab your little kitchen fiber that you just had to wipe your poor face. And you can see. That's right. So this is what we are cleaning with. These are engineered fibers from Austria. They are made with a neutral carbon footprint. And what you do is you put water on this. So you can wet your entire glove. You can wet your surface. If there's too much water, you give it a roll, put it on your hands so that you're ergonomically correct. And then what you're going to do over 100% of the surfaces in your home, all the porous surfaces in your kitchen, because I got my kitchen glove, is you're going to do light circular motions. And what these fibers do is they actually go down into the pores of your surface and mechanically remove what is there. What's left is water. And that is why you'll see every pack with ENJO has really great drying cloths. They are flat, and all that they do is pull up the moisture. So bacteria needs two things to grow. It needs a food source, which our ENJO fibers pick up. It needs a moisture source, which our drying cloths or our ENJO fills pick up. And when you have this system together and you're using it in your home with water, our studies are saying 6 times more effective than traditional cleaning methods in the home.
So what are some of the benefits that you actually have found in your own home when you take away the toxins, because obviously it's a big topic now, toxins are out there. Everyone's trying to be a little bit more environmentally friendly. Obviously, you have the water that goes down the drain, which then has to go to a treatment facility, and that gets pushed out into the Great Lakes where we are. And obviously, this is devoid of all that. So there has to be some sort of like noticeable difference or takeaway in every family home devoid of the toxins in switching over to the ENJO system.
Yeah, so we talk about saving a lot of things, and time, which is huge. We talk about saving our environment, which I really didn't care about, Chuck, to tell you the truth at the time. I couldn't have cared less about our environment. I mean, I recycled, I brought my bags to the grocery store, but I really didn't care about the water system underneath our farm. I do now, but at that time, I didn't. We talk about saving a ton of money, and we talk about saving our time. So time, health, money, and environment. The first thing that I wanted to save, I just wanted my house clean. That's why I purchased ENJO. But then I started thinking, oh my goodness, if I can clean my house with water, then I can teach my children how to clean our house with just water, and they can't do anything wrong. It's not going to harm them. At that point, I was using 5 different products in our bathroom. And if I could throw them a bathroom glove and a drying cloth and have them clean the bathroom, well, now I'm starting to teach them a life skill, which I find that we're not really properly teaching our children that. So once that happened, it kind of went on a little bit farther. I started saving time, and time is huge amounts of money to us on the farm, whether we're working, we do a lot of mission work, volunteer work, children, all the rest of it. And if I can clean my home in half the time with using this system, then that is huge. So I actually didn't think I'd save a cent using ENJO because it was an investment to get into, but I started saving money in time, bang off, right off the bat. And then you start to kind of, other things creep in. You start to become this environmentalist, which you had no idea that you would become. And then the mental health things just really start kicking in. I don't even think you really realize the mental health until you back up and someone starts talking to you about it.
Can you give us some examples of some of the things that people have shared with you, either directly or indirectly, of what the benefits of mental health issues as far as decluttering, cleanliness, detoxifying, any of these things here, just, sitting in your house devoid of clutter that's clean. Obviously, that has a massive mental health effect on us. What have you found?
Yeah, so I get all kinds of stories from people. Some of the biggest stories are the rash and eczema is gone from my young child. They're not coughing anymore. Their asthma's gone down. They're not on puffers anymore. My dog this is crazy. My dog isn't throwing up anymore after our cleaning professional comes and cleans the floor. Because what we don't realize is what we put on our surfaces, we are not only walking on it, but our pets are walking on it as well. That's right, yeah. So when you can take a dusting system and quickly and ergonomically standing up straight and dust your floors and take all the dust and beat it outside into the environment, all of a sudden the health of the family becomes, it almost just kind of creeps in as becoming just a little bit better all the time. So toxins are massive. But I think we've just been inundated with commercials, and especially right now during COVID, we want to kill everything. And I think we've just got to take a step back and say, how good is this for our health? And is there a better way to do it? And how do I find this better way, kind of a thing? Yeah, I actually asked a couple of my people on my Facebook page this morning, do you have any stories? And a couple of them wrote, they said it gives back time from chores in a busy world so we can spend more time with what we love to do, and that helps anyone feel better. Chronic pain depletes your mood. I've got a lot of people with arthritis using ENJO because it's so ergonomically correct and easy on the body. Clean simply to reduce pain. And she had said, think of the floor system and staying off ladders. It picks up pet hair awesomely so you can have pets and still feel good about your home. So to clean up quickly from pets provide companionship, and that helps the mood, which is incredible. And a lot of this stuff you don't really realize until you actually say to people, how has this helped your mental health? Because it's something that we don't talk about a lot.
No, and I think you hit the nail on the head with what you really talk about. And I mean, I didn't want this to be a cleaning show because obviously this isn't what this is, but I mean, like the benefits of what you have and how you actually facilitate on your Facebook page. I mean, if you want to just kind of mention that about your Facebook page and how people can watch some of your videos because they're enthralling. I've never thought I'd ever be saying, oh my God, I get to see this woman's Facebook page on how she cleans because like there's nobody ever. But it's so, you have so much energy and there's so much byproduct. And I mean, I'm not a clean person, but at the same time, you know, you get into these new things where you start saying, maybe I should start questioning what I believe. And like you said, when it comes down to cleaning and commercials, and you just naturally go pick up laundry detergent. You just go naturally pick up Mr. Clean or any cleaning products because that's what you've always done. And then there has to be a paradigm shift of saying, okay, so what's in my air and what's on my floor and my pets' paws and when they lick that, and what's the cost of that to these pets and to our health, and whether it be headaches or inflammation or all the toxins that are in there has to be. Give you an example. I used to be a recruiter, and I had Unilever as one of my biggest clients. And so downtown Toronto, they had probably 4 or 5 square blocks of their Don Valley Parkway and Lakeshore facility. And I would send mechanics in there for job interviews, and they would get the job interviews, paid spectacularly well, and they would last 2 or 3 weeks. And they did powder soaps, liquid soaps, and detergent as well, all 3. And some of them just couldn't take the toxins in the air. And I thought to myself, if that's just like what this plant is, like they sell these products to people out there, and people use these products, and these are the effects that I get back from people who've got psoriasis or pores that are open with sores on them from all this toxins flying in the air. That has to have a massive impact on your well-being as a human being, ergo mental health as well. So I mean, I wanted to convey to people to watch your Facebook page as well, simply because A, it's educational, B, it's something new that I think everybody should really be having a look at and taking inventory of, because it just goes to your health and wellness.
Yeah, so that all kind of stems back to my husband saying you need to teach people what you're doing. So my mindset is, okay, if people don't know about this, and I didn't know about this, someone taught me, so I'm going to pass my education on to somebody else. And I've been a dental hygienist for 30 years. So my background is cleaning. I like things clean. And I don't teach my patients to take something and kill bacteria. I teach them how to mechanically remove things from their mouths to get the health back. It's not what you use to brush, it's how you're using the tool. So as long as you have the best tool in your hand, I can teach you how to use that. So ENJO kind of goes back to the same thing. So a lot of my videos on Facebook page, a lot of them are teaching people just to think about one step farther, like what else could I do for my health and my family's health? What's something that's fast and easy that I can do? So my videos end up being, hey, we're in the kitchen and this is how you clean a kitchen. And then I just show them it's so fast. That's the simplicity and the beauty of ENJO. Because the fibers are just made and engineered to actually clean those areas in your home, they do it extremely well. So when you're in the kitchen, you've got your kitchen fibers out, your bathroom, you've got your bathroom fibers. Talking about floors, like let's get off our hands and knees. The biggest thing with cleaning, I feel like it's a daunting task. And even though you're the cleaning professional in your home, to wrap your head around tidying up enough to actually dive into getting things clean can be a real struggle. And when you really have the right tools in your hand, just like that perfect drill, right? When you've got the right tool in the hand, it's not frustrating. It's easy to do it, and you can clean in half the time. And your house is going to stay cleaner longer as well using ENJO, because you're not putting another product on the surface to grab onto more dust and dirt to feed new bacteria.
Well, I'm actually really impressed with the ENJO squirt bottle because it actually keeps my hair in check. And this is a lovely throwback to my curls as well. So this has been a great little add to our bathroom as well. I can just spray down my hair. But all joking aside, I figured we could go for a little demonstration of what you've got back there, just so people who've never seen it before can actually understand what it is and how it works.
Yeah, so you're right, Chuck. So in our water bottle, it's not a fancy hairspray or any type of product that you have to purchase. And actually, a lot of people will say to me, well, how much is the product that I have to purchase every 3 weeks? And I'm like, you don't. Once you have your ENJO fibers, you're good for 3 years. So I don't hear from people for a long time, which is perfect. But we get water in our water bottle. We take a glove, which again, I'm in the kitchen. Sorry for my lighting here, but I've got my kitchen glove and I've just sprayed water on that. So our kitchen fibers are actually engineered to pick up grease. So I've taken one of my stainless steel pots and I've fingered a lot of butter over top of that, if you can see that. And all that I'm going to do is take my fibers and go over top of that area. And what you will see left, hopefully, is just some watermarks. And you'll see the butter trapped in the fibers of my glove. And that's when we take our drying cloths and we just do a quick dry. So our fibers actually do the cleaning. Our drying cloths just dry and shine, because remember, you want to take the food away from new bacteria growth and you also want the moisture away. So if you can whip through a kitchen with one glove and a drying cloth and do your microwave, your countertops, the outside of your oven, the outside of your fridge, the inside of your fridge, your sink, your taps, and then finish off in your garbage can, and then what the heck, let's do our compost bucket, because let's face it, that thing stinks sometimes. So dump out the food in your compost, grab your glove, pull out the compost, dry everything behind, and you're good to go with no smell.
Wait, this almost sounds like a sting operation for like guys like me who don't know how to clean, that you're just trying to tell me like water and some magic fibers. And I'm like, no, really good. I got my magic fibers right here. I'm just using water. Like, are you using soap? Oh yeah, thank you for telling me how to clean. Like, yeah, no, I'm not using any soap. So how is things going to get clean if you don't use soap? I'm like, well, I got my magic fibers right here. Like, you know, it almost sounds like you're setting me up for like a sting operation, where I think that, like, go ahead, I dare you to clean with the cloth and a spray bottle of water. Yeah, because I want you to. Yeah, are you that stupid you're going to fall for that? I'm like, yeah, I probably would.
And it's also fun when you can actually just spray some water around too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I wanted to ask you as well. Okay, so we talked about the devoid of the toxins, the aroma side. So obviously devoid of the chemicals, the smells that you have as well. That has to have a massive impact on your sinuses, on your clarity, headaches, any of the things that you're doing the cleaning, and you're exposing yourself to these chemicals as well. What have you found with people that are cleaning chemical free as well in their health benefits without the toxins?
Yeah, so toxins are something that we don't really think about, because my husband used to say to me, what are you using to clean? Because it just stinks. And I'd say, well, that's my cleaner. Clean is a smell. That's what I always connected that with. But with ENJO, we say clean is not a smell. You have to kind of disconnect your senses to thinking that clean is not a smell. You should smell nothing in your home. Actually, smells should go away, especially pet smells or anything like that. They actually start getting removed from your home, because remember, you're cleaning pore deep and you're cleaning 6 times more effectively than anything out there. So a lot of things happen. Headaches go away. Your air quality, we've done a ton of testing on air quality. And especially in Australia, they've got lots of great tests out there. Asthma, eczema, all that kind of stuff start to really disappear. I've had multiple mothers say to me, my kids are off, they're puffers. And I really, really contribute that to pulling the toxins out of your home. And we can go into something, even deeper, like laundry, for example, your laundry detergents and your fabric softeners that we're using on our laundry. A lot of people want that smell, but let's kind of do a disconnect. If you want to smell, let's just get a great essential oil and diffuse it into our air so that we can smell that. Try to find something else. Open up your windows and let fresh air. I always say that when I go for a walk at the back of the farm, if I was to smell a toxic cleaning smell, like a lemony smell or something like that, or a cleaner back there, I would say, where is the toxic chemical plant and why did the municipality let them set up shop? Yet in our home, we're so desensitized to that we think that is that smell of clean. So let's just think about getting outside. If we were to smell anything like that in the air, we would be like, what is that?
I'm so hypersensitive to smell. And I don't know what it is, but the minute I walk into an office space or a foyer or a landing somewhere, and you look at you can just smell the chemicals in the floor when you've been devoid of it. It honestly gives me a headache. When I walk around, and then of course, then in my head, it's just spinning around like a hamster wheel, and I just feel, oh my God, it's just like so, I can just smell it everywhere. And then what used to be like, wow, this smells clean, and I would just have this, right, it's wonderful that they do all this cleaning. But I mean, the people that go through that and the mentality that we have to think it has to be a chemical to kill the bacteria or the dirt or whatever that we're trying to clean is just, a different paradigm that just needs to be shifted.
Yeah, and really, like I never, even though I was a hygienist, it didn't click in my head until somebody actually said, you can kill as much bacteria as you want, but if you're leaving it in the pores of the surface, new bacteria is just going to eat that and create stains and smells. And it wasn't until then that I thought, oh my goodness, mechanical clean versus chemical clean. That's right. I want to mechanically remove instead of pouring something on and killing. So it's funny because my son, we moved my mom last week, which was really amazing. She did really well. But my son came up to me in the middle of moving boxes and he's renting a room with his buddies right now. And he said, Mom, as we're walking kind of back and forth, Mom, my feet are burning after the boys cleaned the floor. And I was like, wait, what? What do you mean your feet are burning? And he said, my feet are actually burning. So I have to keep my shoes on in the house. And I thought, oh my goodness, like if my 22-year-old can actually come up and tell me that, now he's used to ENJO. He thinks everyone uses ENJO. He takes it everywhere he goes. But, I thought if a 22-year-old can actually stop me and verbalize that, what about babies that can't say anything after crawling on the floor, or pets, or anything like that, or people coughing with bronchitis and they're just adding to the problem with all these different products that they're moving around in the house, and they're just creating this big toxic cloud. One of the biggest things, Chuck, I always say to people, even if you don't get ENJO, I'm okay if you don't get ENJO. I want to reach the people who really want to make a change in their home. But please, number one, stop spraying things in your home. Stop spraying them. Number two, read your labels. Read your labels. I never read a label, ever. And you would be shocked at the information on that label. You will know that you're not using that product correctly. I didn't know you had to use a quarter cup of product with bleach in the toilet and let it sit for 10 minutes with the toilet seat up so the volatile organic compounds dissipate in the air. I just put it in there and swished a dirty brush around and flushed it into my septic system, which then killed the bacteria down in our septic system. I didn't know any different until you actually go to a cleaning class and someone says, hey, can I actually teach you how to clean properly so that you're cleaning in half the time, your family's going to be healthier, and you're actually going to enjoy it.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to be able to give people a chance to actually find where your videos are and how they can follow you, how they can get more information as well. Like I said, this is a mental health segment of the show. This actually covers all matters of sins, of toxins, and removing that from your environment as well. But I also want to be able to give people the option, if they so choose, to actually get more information, to find out what the system is, how much it costs, where you can find out your cleaning classes as well. Because again, I'll throw you more sunshine, but your videos are just sometimes, I wouldn't admit this in public, certainly not in the hockey dressing rooms, but I'll be going through Facebook and I'll see it live on there and I'll stop and like, is anybody watching? Okay, I'm just going to watch a couple minutes of this just to see how it goes. I'm not interested in this at all, just so nobody's going to question my sexuality or where my head's at with anything. But, I'm just intrigued because she just has a good energy to her. And I just end up watching your 15 or 20 minute video afterwards and just like, afterwards, I feel like I need to go after and correct my man shame or something like that, because I feel like people are judging me. I can just feel the judgment. I'm like, you watched the cleaning video, didn't you? I'm like, yeah, I kind of did. Yeah. But the work, I actually really enjoyed it. I learned a lot. So how can people find your Facebook page and your information?
Well, I actually have a website now, which is fairly new to me. But if you go on www.enjo.ca/LConvay, or just type Laurie Convay ENJO Canada in your Google search, hopefully I'll come up. I try to change the videos a little bit there. I am on YouTube if you Google Laurie Convay ENJO Canada. Facebook, again, Laurie Convay ENJO Canada, and you should be able to find me. And I usually, well, not usually, I always tell people, if you have ENJO and you don't know what it is in your cupboard, let's say you purchase something and you have no idea what it is, my goodness, message me so I can get you using the best system in the world. You've got the best cleaning system in the world sitting underneath your cupboard, and we need to get it out and start using it to actually start helping things.
And I haven't touched on this, but why are you so passionate about this? What was the turning point for you in that presentation you watched 17 years ago that hooked you in, changed your thinking? Because, it's hard for any human being to change their opinion on anything. I don't care if it's like, a type of flavor of ice cream that you like or whatever. People are very particular in what they like and how they do things, and they know what they know. So for a light bulb to go off for you, I'd like you to share that with the audience and what that was for you, and then the people that you've taught the system as well, what the light bulb are for them.
Yeah, so I was pretty wowed. It was a young guy that came to do my cleaning class at my girlfriend's house. He was a professional cleaner in London. He drove all that way. And I thought the best friend who had this cleaning class also thinks way out of the box. You need to have her on as a guest as well. She's really incredible. And I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. If this is going to work the same at her farm that it's going to work at my farm, I'm in. So when I brought it home, I actually took the kitchen glove and I cooked with some bacon grease. I cleaned up the bacon grease, and then I decided I'm going to clean out my refrigerator without washing it. So totally opposite. You should be cleaning cleanest to dirtiest, but I did it the opposite way because I wanted to test these fibers, because I was so tired of gimmicks and buying. I spent more money on products than I've ever spent in a million years on anything ENJO. So I really wanted to test it. I was tired of being taken advantage of. So I think that was the biggest thing for me. It worked. And I thought, oh my gosh, they are onto something here. And then I started thinking, wow, now I'm not putting anything in my skin. My husband isn't burning his eyes anymore when he has a shower, because I use two products together in our shower. I didn't know that was happening until I started using ENJO. Then it was like, you're not putting anything in our septic system, Laurie. Bravo, like high five. I was like, well, I don't care about our septic system, but I guess I should. So all these little tiny things, I guess, just built up to one more passionate thing. And one of the biggest things for me too is I said to that young guy, I said, why isn't this in Walmart? Why can't I just go to Walmart and buy this? And he said, well, because ENJO is a little bit different. It's actually simpler than using chemicals, but we're used to taking a product. So if this was at Walmart and I bought this, I would take a product and put it on here, and I would take it like this and push really hard and scrub into a surface, because the dirtier the surface, we used to use a lot of product and a lot of power, right? A lot of motion.
Elbow grease, yeah.
Yeah, and elbow grease. And he said, that is why we're not at Walmart, because people wouldn't use it properly. You need an ENJO consultant, whether it's me or, someone tuned in from Australia. We're in 22 countries across the world, to actually just change our thought process and teach us how to be easier on our bodies and on our minds. And we just need to be taught how to use it. And once you're taught, you pick up a new thing, and then it just becomes your passion, because a lot of people will message me and just say, hey, this happened, and look what I cleaned, and oh my goodness. And I just feel really good about that, to give not only women, because I know that there's a lot of men, maybe not on this show, but I could convert you to even just give young women their time back with their families, and guys who are helping to clean, the right tools for the job. So if I can do that, I think that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and honestly, I just want to convey to everybody, I'm not an ENJO distributor, or I am a user now because I've actually been forced to use this in the system. But like the reason why I've had you on the show, because this is just the right thing to do to people, just to give them this information, because there's just so much out there with toxins and chemicals, and it has a massive impact on our mental health. We don't even know it. It's the invisible agent in the room. And if we can remove that, you're going to see I honestly will link toxins to cancer as well. You know, if you can remove that, you're removing all the ability that the chance of cancer or anybody else that is susceptible on a predisposed condition is going to pick that up as well. So before we go, I wanted to go through a couple of pictures that we have as well, and just kind of go down and have you walk through all these pictures, because I think these are actually quite funny. They're good storytelling. So
Sure.
take us through this.
Sure. So this is a picture of me getting an award. I was actually number 10 in the world that year. And I've never really traveled a lot, but with this company, I didn't join the company to actually travel, but that's what happens when you're very passionate. And we were in Thailand actually when I got my 10th in the world award. And yeah, I'm always striving to help as many people as I can. So that's just kind of a cool thing. You know, Australia and Austria are always beating us, Canada. So we need to I'm a little competitive. Mm-hmm. So we need to step up our game here in Canada. Oh, this is an awesome picture. So I gift ENJO to all my nieces and nephews. I want them using nothing in their home but ENJO so that they're cleaning easier, blah, blah, blah. So this was my niece's picture that she sent me the first time she used the floor system. So that is a floor system that is a duster that will last you probably over 3 years. And that is one of her German Shepherds. She has 2. So instead of using disposable things, she's now saving literally thousands of dollars, because I don't even know how many disposable things that you'd need to keep up with that.
Yeah. So, I don't even know why you take a picture of that and just share the evidence of like how hairy your home is. Like,
yeah, so this is interesting. This is a love from our living zone. So we are cleaning fabrics, and as you can see, this is a fabric couch. So I want you to take a look at the cushion in the center there. So there's a cushion for the like an armrest, and then the cushion with the textile glove. So I cleaned that cushion. You can see the dirty one beside it in about probably a minute and a half with water and that ENJO textile glove. So that is the power of ENJO. That house had a couple dogs. There's a lot of dog slobber on there. I don't even ask my host what is on their couch. I just want it clean. And there's no judgment. You know what?
Don't ask, don't tell.
That's right. Because how do you clean that if you don't have ENJO? That's what I keep saying. I mean, you could spend a fortune on different stuff, but you might as well just take a glove and yeah.
You really can. The other thing I wanted people to understand as well, like this isn't completely off topic as well. You do so much charity work, and you're just ingrained in your community as well. And I would be remiss if I didn't actually mention that. But I just thought I'd give you a chance to talk about some of the projects that you do and the goodness that I know that you're into Haiti. In Haiti as well. I just thought I'd give you a chance just to explain why you do that, what you do, and the impact it has.
Oh, that's awesome, Chuck. Thank you. So quite a number of years ago, our family joined another family in Haiti, and we went down to actually build a house. So it's pretty easy to build a house in Haiti. You just need a little fundraising. So a lot of my ENJO proceeds goes into that fundraising. And we send money down, and then we take a team down. We actually brought our children, because as much as you can say, eat everything on your plate, there are starving children in the world. Nothing says it better than actually putting them in the middle of it. So we've been down, I believe, 6 times now, and we've built, I believe, 8 homes. We're about to build another one. And we do it through a company called Welcome Home Haiti, which is kind of cool. And it's really, really amazing just to see sticks, mud, dirt, literally shacks. And I mean shacks. I know a lot of people watching have been on different trips and things. Haiti is the poorest country in the world. And to take them, just literally lift them right from that and plunk them into a brick home that is completely made by Haitian workers. So we aren't down there to do the work. We're actually down there to pay the Haitians to do the work. And yeah, so we've also got a few sponsored kids. My ENJO team sponsors a child. ENJO Canada sponsors a child. And actually, ENJO Canada is doing work with It's Not Okay, which is bringing girls in the slave trade out of that and into a safe spot. And then we're also building homes in the Dominican with them as well. So it's been really kind of a cool journey with all that. And it's really interesting how you go from one thing to the next and how things kind of mold together so that you can really make the small difference in the world.
You know, sometimes I have guests on that I just bring them on because it makes me look better. I think having you on, like, I'm thinking to myself, when you're telling you all the stuff that you're doing for charities, I'm like, Chuck, what have you done good for this world? And I'm like, I once put premium in a rent-a-car, like, and that's all I got. I got nothing. Like, how do you compete with something like that? Like, I mean, like, this is just depressing for me as the host. I'm like, my manhood's just kicking in right now. I'm just like, no, fight back, fight back. I'm like, I got nothing, dude. I got nothing. Like, you can't follow that.
Well, I always tell people, if you can do anything in this world, sponsor a child. Like, we go through different organizations, but it doesn't even matter. Like, kind of find an organization that you've researched that actually does something amazing with children in the world, and just sponsor one. You just have to sponsor one. Stick their picture on your fridge and actually think about them. Yeah, that's all you have to do. It's
There's a wonderful story that I wanted to share that you just hit the nail on the head with. So I used to spend a lot of time in Exuma in the Bahamas, and you go down at low tide, and there'd be a whole bunch of like sea life on the bed, and you'd see all these starfish down there. And there's a story that reminded me of a woman that was on a beach, and it was at low tide, and all these starfish were dying on the beach in this heat. And she went by picking them one up by one, throwing them in the water. And the guy came down, and, you know, there's a whole mile of beach, and he just said, "What are you doing?" She's just like, "I'm putting all these starfish back in the water, otherwise they'll die." And he just says, "You can't make a difference that way. Like, like, there's millions of them over here on the beach." And then she picks up the one, she looks at him, she throws it back in the water. She's like, "Made a difference for that one." And, you know, like you said, just sponsor one child, because, you know, that one child, like, you'll never know the difference it makes. And for the price of a cup of coffee a month, you know, like at $5 or Starbucks, wherever you go, the impact that you have on that is absolutely amazing. Before we go, I wanted to give a chance to have Carrie come on board, because I can't do the comments on the side on my phone, otherwise I'll just hang up on the call. But we've had some keeners that have been calling in and commenting on the side. Barry Shelley, for one, on the side. You know, he's been commenting, and Barry, I'm not ignoring you, buddy. I just don't have the technology on my phone. My computer crapped out last week to get to this. So, Carrie, if we can bring up some of the comments that we have as well, and you can go down them as well. I'd be terribly awful if I didn't actually address some of these comments. So,
what an amazing, absolutely, I learned a lot.
Sure you did.
And there was some I did not know, Chuck. I apologize, because I'm texting away. Come on. And I'll just whip through some of these. These are incredible. Some of the, obviously we know about Sam Trapolino in Adelaide. His wife is still singing the Enjo cleaning we will do. Barry Shelley, a great supporter of our shows, all of our shows. I wish my wife would have told me to go buy my tools. The house would be filled with hockey items. Well, okay. And Sam had said, "I'm motivated already. I'm doing the dishes well." They speak a silly language.
Wow. Yes.
I'm not sure what's happened, but we got a little crazy. He was asking, and that's why I put the pet picture up. Do you have pets? I have 2 huge dogs, and they leave much hair around. And you actually answered that question. And then this one, I'm not sure who he's talking about. 22-year-old son. You don't look like you have a 22-year-old son.
It's Enjo.
Barry. Thanks, Chuck, for asking. Okay, you asked a very good question. I then had one of our people said, "You are amazing, Laurie. What you've done and explained it in a mental health capacity. It's pretty tough to talk to somebody. Okay, clean your house and you'll feel mentally better." My wife, in the mornings, every Sunday, cleans the house. She vacuums places that don't need vacuuming, but it's for her. it gives her the Zen moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, the Zen moment for me is making it dirty. So let me do it. A lot of people,
Codependent.
yeah, a lot of people buy, wait, she wouldn't have anything to clean if I didn't dirty it. A lot of people buy things like that and scrub it so hard that they actually scrub deep into the carpet fibers without removing it. And that's very true. Please post a link. I know that he then found it, which is fantastic. Barry, you're fantastic. www.enjo.com/int. You're saying, Chuck, you don't do too much. I agree, but they don't. You do a lot. Chuck, you're doing this, which is spreading the message.
That's right.
And then I'm not sure why you said this. What a great analogy. Thanks, Sammy, for
Oh, the
joining.
starfish. Yeah, the starfish.
That's right. I apologize.
Yeah.
After this show, Chuck, after the show, Chuck will be the cleanest household on his block.
Yeah. Well, you still have to actually do the cleaning factor. So, that's where I'm not so much on that as well. I'm allowed to do the bathroom now because, I can't mess it up with just water. So I'm allowed to clean the bathroom on Saturdays.
Well, I'll tell you what I liked about what you talked about a lot, Laurie, is the fact that I have asthma, and I know some of the cleaning products that we've used. I know it affects it differently. Right now, under the pandemic, I've had zero. The last couple of days, I've had to use my inhaler, but up until probably 14 months into this, I have not. And what I did notice is my wife is not cleaning as much with the typical. And the reason why I said Mr. Clean, I know she's got those white rags that clean instantly because everything needs to be done quickly now. So I really thank you for doing this. And Sam does say, I'll be reading the labels from now on. I promise. And I think that is something that we don't do. We are using cleaning products in all of the things that we do that are probably very detrimental to a person like me who's got asthma. And then think about your young kids, as you mentioned, even your pets, that were doing damage without really, I'm cleaning the house, yet you're doing damage to the people around you.
And damaging the surfaces sometimes of your house as well, with the types of products that you're using on. So, yeah.
Well, guys, it was an amazing interview. Chuck, I'll let you wrap it up. Laurie, you're absolutely fantastic. You're articulate. You're funny. Obviously, you know your stuff. And Chuck, I really appreciate you bringing Laurie on. It was amazing.
You bet. Laurie, I wanted to actually just give people a chance to actually reach out to you with any questions they have. And I know before you mentioned you had a website. So how can people find you online?
So if you go on to I guess just www.enjo.ca/lconvay, and you can find me on my website. And there's actually I think a chat bar there too. You can send me an email and
on Facebook.
Yeah, and on Facebook too. Yeah, just Laurie Convay.
Hang on 1 second, if you don't mind. I'm going to post it right now for you because it's too fast for me. So I'll post the website
www.enjo.ca/lconvay CONVAY.
Convay.
Yeah.
Dot.
That's it.
I don't have to put a dot.
No, I think that's it.
But watch this.
enjo.ca/lconvay.
Look at that.
That's it.
I did it.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
So Barry, reach out to Laurie that way there on Facebook as well, because I mean your videos on Facebook are amazing as well. So is there anything that I missed out on in the interview as well that you'd like to talk about, or that we can just wrap up as well before we go?
Yeah, I just want people to just start thinking about what they're doing. Pick up those labels and read them, and really try to find one little different thing. Even if it's getting your carbon footprint down with washing dishes instead of a big thing of water, a little thing of water. Start thinking about, everybody's connected in homes and apartment buildings, and I'm talking about their septic systems. They're all connected to one pipe that goes to one water treatment plant. So what you're putting in your apartment, in your home, is mixing with everybody else's, and that's what's getting treated and being put back out into our waterways. So if we can just think about one more thing to kind of you know, not only help our environment, but it's a feel good thing as well. You just start to feel good. Oh my goodness, I'm actually doing something for an environment, because I always say, you know, we can't really control what's happening sometimes outside in our world, but you can control what's happening in your home. So if you can do one little thing in your home to make yourself feel better, I think that's a win-win situation.
I always say that you can control the controllables. So I can't control anybody else's ideas. I can't control the weather. I can control my actions, my thoughts, my processes, my choices as well. So, I mean, I'm really glad of the choice that I had you on the show tonight, because I mean, you're so passionate about what you do and the impact that also that it has on people as well in their homes as well. Because again, the saying is happy spouse, happy house, right?
Yeah, I tend to agree with that, Chuck. Yeah.
I think you should. I mean, I could have been misogynistic and said happy wife, happy life, happy wife. Yeah. But then it doesn't include everybody. So you just go happy spouse, happy house, right?
That's right. Yeah. And I want to thank you too for having me on, because this is something that I really don't get exposure with. And if people don't know about it, then they can't even make a change. So thank you so much for giving me this little platform just to talk a little bit about cleaning, which not everyone loves to do, but how we can make it really easy and better for our mental health too.
Yeah, and I think it's really ironic that an old hockey player is like having a conversation about cleaning on mental health issues. Like, if I looked back 10 years ago and said, this is what I'd be doing right now, I'd be like, really, Chuck? Are you really? Okay, cool. But it's been a wonderful pleasure having on the show, Laurie, as well. I love your energy. I love your commitment to humanity and people and making a difference. Like, we sorely need more people in the world like you out there right now. And I want to thank you for being on the show.
Thanks, Chuck. Thank you so much for having me.
You're quite welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Laurie. You were amazing.
Clean on, you guys. And if not, just pick up.
I will clean on. Enjo. Can't remember the last part, but I'll say it.
Cleaning we will
Cleaning we
That's
will
the
go.
ADHD. Yeah, the ADHD show. Yeah. So, thanks, Laurie.
Hey, Chuck, that was amazing. And that song's now going to be stuck. But I hope Tony wasn't watching this, because she'll be saying, see, Laurie taught you a few things. Let's see it this Sunday morning.
Yeah, and like I said, I want to restate this as well. Like, there's a difference you can make out there in people. Like, Laurie has done so many different things. I mean, just to share, the very first time I met Laurie was at a function in Tiverton, just outside of Kincardine.
Yeah.
And she was so humble, and she was just she had so much humility. And I was asking her questions, and then like my girlfriend would come in and say, oh, well, you know, she does this charity work down in Haiti. I'm like, well, tell me more about this. And then there was just one example, then the second example, and the third example. I'm just like, man, I feel horrible sitting next to you, because like you do so much good in the world. And like, I just feel so confronted about this. But I mean, like, when you meet people like that,
yeah, I mean,
the more you can share that message and her message as well,
yeah.
and how much she contributes back into the world of just teaching people who want to learn, and not driving it down their throats and not forcing it upon them, but just making a choice. And like, this is the reason why we had her on the show tonight, just to give people that information that they didn't normally have.
Well, you saw it from the engagement from people, and I'm still getting texts. Of course, it's amazing what you know, people have come to realize. Cleaning is also mental health. Listen, if you live in dirt, I know when I throw stuff in the car and Tony walks into it, she's in a bad mood, right? Pick up. Why did I roll up that?
Cups are all over the place.
Yeah. So, hey, listen, Chuck, great show as usual, buddy. Look forward to next week. Bigger and better things are coming for us. Thank you.
Yeah. Before we go, I got to throw out a big birthday message to our friend Stephen Morris.
Yes, sir.
Yes, his birthday today as well.
And ready?
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Forget it.
Happy birthday. Yeah, but I mean, I wanted to say that to Stephen, because obviously this show, we've had Stephen Morris on the show multiple times as well, and what he does as well with CMHA. And you know, I just want to say a big happy birthday to my best friend, Stephen Morris.
Sending it off to him now. Okay, buddy. Thanks. Great job.
I'll see you next week, Gooch. And thanks a lot for joining us here on Mental Health Monday. I'm Chuck Bastie, your host. And if you have any comments, questions, please reach out to us in the box below. and we will see you next week. Thanks a lot for showing.